There was a moment I thought I was losing my mind, but actually, it was sleep. One day at work, I stepped out of a room that I'd used every day for years, and suddenly I didn't recognize where I was. For a split second, the hallway looked absolutely unfamiliar. And in that moment, I thought something was seriously wrong with my mind. But what I eventually discovered shocked me. It wasn't mental illness, it was sleep deprivation. At the time, I was in my early 30s, working as a mental health nurse. I had been working in mental health for about 5 years, and like many healthcare workers, we were constantly short staffed. As one of the senior nurses, I had to work even harder to make sure the unit stayed covered. But when my shift ended, my responsibilities didn't stop there. I was a mother and a wife. So when I got home, I still had family responsibilities waiting for me. By the end of the day, the only time that truly felt like mine was late at nights after everyone had gone to bed. That quiet time felt peaceful. It felt like the only moment I had for myself. So I stayed up. Most nights, I would go to sleep at around midnight. But I had to wake up at 5 in the mornings. That meant I was getting about 4 hours of sleep, sometimes even less. At that time, I didn't think much of it. I was young, I was busy, I just kept going. But slowly, things started changing. I began feeling like I was living my life in a daze. Every day felt the same. Wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. It felt like I was living, but not really living. Then other strange things started happening. Every morning when I woke up, my heart would already be racing. I felt extremely nervous. Then one day at work, the phone rang at the nurse's station. And the sound startled me so badly that everyone looked at me as if something was wrong. The phone sounded unbelievably loud, almost unbearable. Even normal sounds started bothering me. One day at home, I heard children laughing outside. That might sound normal, but my neighborhood was extremely quiet. For a moment, I actually wondered, am I hearing voices? That thought terrified me. As someone who worked in mental health, this was especially frightening. I began wondering if something was seriously wrong. I even thought about seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist. But I hesitated. Part of me was afraid. Part of me was embarrassed. And part of me worried that if I went to get help, then they might immediately put me on medications. So I kept trying to ignore it. until something happened that I could not ignore. One day at work, I walked out of the treatment room, a room I had used every day for 5 years. I stepped into the hallway and suddenly, for a split second, I didn't recognize where I was. The hallway looked unfamiliar. That moment shocked me to my core. I knew then that something was seriously wrong. So, I finally went to see a doctor. After explaining everything that had been happening, the doctor asked me one simple question. How many hours of sleep are you getting? I told her the truth. About 4 hours, the most, sometimes less. She looked at me and said something very simple. Try getting 7 hours of sleep every night. That was it. My lab works were normal, so I decided to try it. And I will never forget what happened next. Getting 7 hours of sleep changed my life. My mind became clear again. The anxiety disappeared. My confidence returned. At work, I could finally focus again. Before that, I would read reports and stumbled over words, almost like I was calling out words without understanding them. But now, I could think clearly. Even my appearance changed. My eyes became bright again. My skin looked healthier. I felt younger. My confidence returned, more alive. But the biggest change was how I treated my evenings. Instead of staying up late searching for a little peace and quiet, I started enjoying time with my children and then going to bed, sometimes even with them. Something else amazing happened to me. There was a course I always wanted to start, but I felt too overwhelmed and mentally exhausted to even try. After improving my sleep, I finally started that course. And today, I'm almost finished. And here is the most incredible part. I didn't need sleep medications. I didn't need anxiety medications. I didn't need any treatment. What I needed was sleep. 7 hours of sleep transformed my mind, my confidence, and my life. So, if you are constantly exhausted, anxious, or feeling like something isn't quite right, before assuming the worst, ask yourself one question. Am I getting enough sleep? Because sometimes the solution to a very frightening problem is something as simple and as powerful as rest.